Imagine, literally imagine yourself at 120 years old. That's gotta be feeling pretty awful, right? Well, imagine this. Imagine that really was an animal at 120 years old. How about a 120-year-old crocodile that is currently still alive? That's right, everybody. A humongous 18-foot crocodile named Cassius is actually the current record holder of the largest living crocodile on the planet. Now, apparently, before that, there was another croc actually that was in captivity for only a short time named Lolon, who actually was the world record holder for a while at measuring about 20 feet in length. But after he passed away, Cassius regained that record, you guys, and is currently the oldest living crocodile on record. I can't believe it. 120 years old. I don't ever recall of a croc in captivity living that long, everybody. Whether it's a wild-caught one or born in captivity, it's just hard to believe a massive croc this big has already lasted 120 years. Now, you may be asking everyone, how could a crocodile in captivity live up to 120 years old? Well, that's a very good question. I guess we'll go ahead and dig a little more research into the history about Cassius. So, let's go ahead on the computer and see what we can find out about this humongous prehistoric reptile. So Cassius, the world's largest crocodile currently in captivity, just turned 120 years old. Or, at least that's what his estimated age is according to scientists. The reality is that it's really difficult to determine a wild crocodile's actual age. They just confirmed there's no way of knowing Cassius' actual age as he was born in the wild, which is what I literally just said. So, let's go ahead and figure out his history. In 1984, researchers captured the crocodile on a cattle ranch southwest of Darwin, Australia, after the ranch owners complained they were losing livestock. Even then, when Cassius was estimated to be between 30 and 80 years old, he was the biggest crocodile ever caught alive in Australia. Which you have to admit, for a croc this big, and then think about this, 1984 is when he was captured. 1984, that's close to 40 years ago already. And according to the researchers, he was 16 feet 10 inches in length at the time, with at least another 6 inches of his tail was missing. Which obviously would tell me that he probably had another fight with another big croc beforehand. He was a big old gnarly crocodile then. Crocs of that size are not normal. Well, when you actually think about it though, there has been a lot of sightings over the last 10 years of some big crocs, particularly saltwater crocs, that are like between 13 and 17 feet long, have really actually started popping up a bit more. Nearly 40 years later, and after 35 years living on Green Island, the colossal crocodile is still growing, and is providing scientists with serious knowledge on longevity. Now, according to researchers, Cassius was a difficult catch, obviously because, like I said, he was a wild crocodile. Large crocodiles have been prime targets for hunters. Some ranchers rarely had the opportunity to study them. Adult crocodiles that survived the hunting period were very wary. Now Cassius is anything but wary, according to his keepers. He still has a lot of spark in him, and is always up for an interaction. While other old reptiles tend to be docile and uninterested, he is one of the liveliest crocs and very engaging. Saltwater crocodiles typically live for more than 70 years, according to the non-profit organization Oceana. The largest saltwater crocodile ever captured was Lolon, which I actually just brought that earlier in the vlog, measuring 20.3 feet long from the Philippines. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, Cassius was literally captured in the early 80s after he was causing a disturbance on the ranch. And, well, this is something really interesting, you know, and this is literally in Australia, by the way, Green Island, Australia. Now, I don't know if any other enthusiasts have ever got to meet Cassius, but I do know he is a big croc. That's all I know. With that being said, though, how big is he gonna get? Who knows? At his age, if he really is 120 years old, though, would he still have all his teeth in him? I'm not sure. But with that being said, who knows? It's different for every crocodilian. But let me know what your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Cassius is actually really 120 years old? So I got this thawed out mouse, you guys, that I'm thawing out here. it's been doing it for at least a half an hour now. And for those of you guys that see it, you're probably figuring out who I'm going to be feeding it to. And, well, I think the snake that I'm going to be feeding it to has already figured it out as well, so. Hello, Lucy. Have you figured it out? Have you figured out you're getting dinner? It's a so weird coincidence, but I do think she can smell it, you guys, from a distance, because ever since I started thawing this mouse out, she has been actually crawling around her cage a lot recently since I brought it out, so I think she can smell it. And obviously snakes can actually have a good sense of smell. That is an actual fact. So we're going to go ahead and not waste any time and just go ahead and give it to her and probably make her day proud. Oh, Lucy. Come here. Come and get it, girl. Oh yeah, come on, girl. I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it. Yeah. Good girl. Such a good girl. Yeah, good job. And people tell me snakes are stupid. Well, guess what? They're not. This is like definitive proof that snakes are not stupid, everybody. They actually do have a brain and they do know how to use it. So again, everybody, tell me what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Do you actually think Cassius really is 120 years old? Because, I mean, when you think about it, he is a very large croc, don't get me wrong. At 18 feet long, that's a big, big croc. But at the same time, though, that's what they estimate him to be, is 120. But if my initial guess would have to be, I think he's probably maybe more like towards 80 years old would be my guess. But really, like I said, you know, and from what the owners of him said, he was a wild croc. He was wild caught many years ago, and the exact age of him is completely unknown. So that's just their estimate. But we really can't really exactly say for certain. But regardless, though, he is certainly a big boy, and definitely an animal that you don't want to take a challenge with. So, with that being said, everybody, I'm not sure. But at the same time, it's really cool that I would not be surprised if this animal did live to be at least 100 years old, because there actually have been a few crocodilians in the record books that actually have lived a little over 100 years old. So really, I think it could be possible, but I can't say for certain on that one. So with that being said, I don't know, maybe you guys can actually have a guess of how old he is down in the comments below. So 120 years old, realistically, we're not exactly sure how old he is, but any random guesses, feel free to share that. So Lucy finally got a meal tonight, everybody. It has, like I said, it's been a while since we've actually given her some dinner, her lunch, but at the same time, she immediately knew what was going on once I opened her tank and actually had the tawns with me. And some people do say snakes are not that smart, they're kind of dumb. But I think it really kind of depends on the exact species, because there are some species that are extremely smart, and there might be a few out there that are not as smart. But garter snakes, to me, I think they're definitely up in the high range area of intelligence, because they are just super smart. They actually try to figure things out, what's going on in their surroundings, and whether if it's a captive one or a wild one. And especially how smart Lucy is, she kind of tends to recognize me in a good way, and she's kind of figured out that I'm not like I said, I'm not a predator. She knows that I'm cautious with her. I handle her gently, and of course I do provide her with food. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and conclude this vlog, everybody. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and if you're new to this channel, smash that subscribe button for me too, everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video, everybody. I'll see you all in the next one.